bravefathers.com. Welcome to the Brave Fathers Show. And now, the prophecy.
What time is my show? Am I on? Where am I? Where am I? I can't find myself. I'm finding myself because I have a show right now. I'm supposed to be live on air. I'm supposed to be live on air and I can't even find myself. Where am I? Am I here? Am I there? What am I doing? Why can't I be seen? Am I finding my way through to get to the show? Is that what I'm doing? Am I finding my way to the show? Is that what I'm doing? Yes, I must be doing that. What else could I be doing? If not finding my way to the Brave Fathers show. Oh, so I'm the host, which means I should be live now. Because people are watching, people are waiting. I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna make it. Who is winning the gender war? Today we are talking about the gender war. We are discussing the war between genders. Now, as you know, there is 107 genders in the world. 107 genders in the world. I think that's the last count. Now, lately, I've not been hearing about the latest genders, so I don't know what the new gender is and who's actually winning the gender war. But it appears that the males and the females are at the forefront of this war. So that's what we are going to focus on today, the males and females. Because so far, those are the people who seem to be most invested in the gender war. So kurwa mać, let's see. Now, before we begin, it's important for you to know that I've got this bag of onions on my desk. Now, that's not relevant to today's show. So we're not going to talk about the onions today. We're just going to focus on the gender war and who is winning and who might be losing. And why are we talking about it on this sweaty day? And by the way, later today, we have another show where we'll be talking about why bad women divorce good men and why women in general tend to initiate divorces. It seems kind of relevant to the gender war as well, which I'm not part of. I'm just a commentator, and I know that it's a kind of war where it's like pick a side or you're against us. So I have all kinds of people against me, and because I criticize feminists, I criticize the red pill, I criticize what's the other one? Pickup artists, the Lux Maxing claviculas. I criticize MGTOWs, all the things. I criticize them because I'm the prophecy, I bring the truth. And it's just so strange that people are not waking up as quickly as they need to. But I'm here to help you, help them. Right. So, where do we begin? So there is this post going around. There's this post going around about men playing video games, right? So I know the kids love Fortnite, by the way, because I went to a birthday party for a kid. I took a kid to a birthday party, and they loved Fortnite, right? And I was told that I could never get good at Fortnite. That's what I was told. You know, these kids don't know who they are messing with. So I decided to get, into it. And I started playing, I started practicing as well. And I'm quite good. Like, okay, so I just started recently, right? It's been a few weeks, but I already have 24 victory royales, I think. 22, thereabout, right? Which is quite good for a beginner. unless the game is easy. But I don't think it's easy because I think I'm doing very well and I'm proud of myself. But this post is saying that women find men unattractive when they play video games. I think I can find that post actually. Let's see, I think I got it right here. So it says, I know it's unpopular, but it will always be unattractive for a grown man to play video games. Some women might be understanding or pretend like they don't care that you spend hours playing, but they do. It is extremely unattractive to women and will never not be. And then there is an addendum to this post which says, I'm not saying this to attack men, by the way, I'm just speaking objectively here. So my first reaction is, who gives a fuck? Why do we care whether or not women find it attractive? It's irrelevant to a man's reality if a woman finds something he does attractive or unattractive. Now I know there's a lot of guys who will be like, oh no, but you want to get laid. Listen. You're a man, right? You're a man. Do what you want to do. She doesn't have to watch you play video games. In fact, what the fuck is she doing? Why is she not in the kitchen, right? Why does she have time to step away from the Hoover to see you playing video games, right? If she's an independent boss bitch, why is she not building her empire while you're playing your video games so she can bring home money that you can use to buy video games? Do you see where I'm going with this? Let's say it is unattractive. So what? I'll still play video games. Look, I'm getting good at Fortnite. I'm actually considering going semi-pro, but I may not have the time, but I'm getting inspired to think that maybe I should do this as a hobby. Not as a hobby, well, as a hobby now, I'm doing as a hobby, but as a semi-pro, which means getting money for it. Like they don't pay much per se for a tournament, but imagine getting so good that you make like at 99, because it's like 100 people, right, in the thing, and then you get rid of all of them and all of the kids are crying and like you get the $800 for winning and they are sad about it. Do you know what I mean? Because what the kids don't know is we are grown-ups, right? So we can think about the game from a perspective that they could never consider. Now, don't get me wrong, there's lots of good kids. They are good at playing, many are skilled. But what they lack is, oh fuck, why am I covered by this post? Hold on. Yeah, so what the kids lack is strategy. Kids don't have strategy. So imagine beating 99 kids in Fortnite and do it over and over again. And then when you win a tournament, you can get like $800. Like, I know it's not a fortune, but to a kid it is. So imagine you win and then you get the money and the kid doesn't. And the kid really wants the money because maybe they have something they want to buy, but you beat them in the game. I love that idea. I love that idea. So how a woman will find that not attractive beats me. It doesn't make any sense. So I think for that, in the gender war, it's a point against women, right? I think they lose that one because gaming is sexy. Like, what the fuck is wrong with them? By the way, there's this cosplay things I've never been to, but you have girls that walk around that like gamers, that like gaming, and they are quite attractive a lot of times, you know? So there's women who will like it, there are women who will not like it. What's the name of the lady? What's the name of the lady who made that post? Lizzie Marbach. Lizzie Marbach, listen, you're wrong about this. And besides, it does not matter. If men want to play games, they will play games, right? Video games, I mean. But on a more serious note, we have a problem though, because a lot of guys actually dedicate a lot of time and energy trying to change themselves to fit what they think women want. So there are guys who will read that post and stop playing games or will hide the fact that they play games. Which, a lot of these things are so strange to me. Because I remember there was this girl I started seeing, and I used to like playing. What was it called? There was this snake game, Slither, Slither.io. I don't know if you guys remember that game during COVID. So I used to play that. I used to play that, and I actually got quite good at that as well. I used to get quite good. It's a really nice idea, like a perpetual game that is 24/7. It's on. Quite a nice idea. Requires quite a lot of skill and concentration. Also, you have to beat everybody on the arena. So ultimately, everybody kind of loses at the end because you're not gonna be on 24 hours, and then somebody else controls all the whole thing, whatever. And I remember she came over, and I was playing the game. And she just went to the kitchen to make me a drink. She brought some food from her home to my home, and she was like warming it up and things like that. And she asked if she wanted to play, and I said no because I was playing. You know, I don't know if she found it attractive or unattractive, but I never even thought about it. Video games are a big industry, dominated by men, and requires a lot of programming skills. In fact, how I got into programming in the beginning was because I wanted to learn how to write computer games. So I remember way back when I was a kid, I had this book on writing games in BASIC, right? And then I had QBasic, if you remember that, on MS-DOS back in the day. And I remember the first time I ran the thing, because I didn't have access to the computer all the time. So I used to copy the code by hand on paper, actually, to learn it. And I remember the first time I ran it, and I was like, oh shit, it's working. And it was just a simple game. It was really interesting because it was like, I think I may, as an exercise, try to write it again. Basically, um, like Space Avengers, I think, kind of thing, but text based, but it looks like a graphic thing, similar to Nibbles. If you remember Nibbles, the snake game, it was also text based, but looks like graphics. Very interesting stuff. And so I know what games take, and a lot of people became good at computers, including myself, because of gaming, right? Because you had to get your computer to work to make the game work. And it's not like now where you have like everything's just working straight away. In those days, you had to like figure it out for yourself, the settings, the right hardware, and you used to get the magazine and all that stuff. So it was really interesting, and it has grown into a huge industry. So you know, yeah, my point is we don't give a shit what women have to say on these things. Like it's irrelevant, but we know the gender wars are silly. So, we cannot really be bothered about that part of the gender war. But let's look at something about the men. So we have this gentleman. He is known as clavicular, and he's what they call a looks maxer. And looks maxers are guys who essentially smash their face with hammers, inject stuff, take drugs, put on makeup, do whatever it takes to look good for a woman to be interested in them. And this is the looks maxing god. He is the ultimate looks maxer as of today. All the look maxers look up to him, and even if they don't, because obviously there's always disagreements in every faction, um, he's the ultimate, right? And what's interesting is, despite all his looks maxing skills, this guy still says he cannot get women. And people think, all that fake stuff that he does, like he takes people's girlfriends who are not really their girlfriends, like if a girl has been seeing you for a month, that's not your girlfriend, okay? That's just a girl who you call your girlfriend, who may call you your boyfriend, her boyfriend, but she's not your girlfriend. You don't know this bitch. She's just a girl that you know. Maybe you're having sex with her. Many of these guys are not even sleeping with these girls, and they call them their girlfriends. Like, listen, wake up. But let's just say, for the sake of argument, that these are girlfriends, right? So he walks up to them in the club, says some stupid shit, and then the girl ends up leaving the guy. And then the guy kind of begs him to give him his girl back, and so on and so forth. On occasion, he would call the boyfriend and say, look, your girlfriend is cheating on you, things like that. So basically, he's like the, supreme guy who gets somebody's girls. And the people who follow him in the Lux Maxine circle actually think that's amazing, and they think he's a god, and they want to be like him, and they buy better hammers to smash their faces harder to get the right jawline so they can do what he does. Now, if you're used to getting pussy, of course, you know that that's crazy, right? To do all that shit like for vagina, why? Why? But that is one of the things that males today are following. And they will argue with you. And there's millions of these guys, by the way, millions of these guys. And they will argue with you that this is the way to do it. I think they call it ascension. You ascend when you improve your looks max, you maximize your looks, whatever the fuck it is. And by doing that, you supposedly become more attractive to women. Now, again, this is a problem. This is a problem. This is a problem. Why is it a problem? It's a problem because women don't care about looks as much as men do. I know these guys disagree, but they don't. At best, looks attract attention, and your looks is never enough to get the pussy wet. Now, the look on your face, how your facial expression looks, how you express yourself, how you carry yourself, yes, that matters. If you have a certain look that she likes, that is her type, and you have a certain demeanor, that demeanor matters more. And if you're not her type and you don't have the traditional looks or whatever the media wants you to believe is the good-looking look of today, women will want you. If you have confidence, the women will want you. Now, people don't believe it, but they don't know what it's like to be confident. And that's where men lose this particular aspect of the gender war, because men wrongly think that it's their looks, their money, and their status in society that matters. But those things matter to men, they do. And when men achieve them, they tend to act more confident, which is the byproduct of that for many men, right? They still are insecure because they are afraid that somebody who looks better than them will take the girl, which is a big thing in the looks maxing thing. In the money circles, they think somebody who has more money than him will take the girl. Red pill is big on that. And then your status. And I argue that pickup artists are big on that because they have the demonstration of higher value to the woman as part of their gimmicks. Now, those things matter to men, and men have a confidence boost. Now, of course, if you're in a relationship and you have kids, or if you have kids, if you are dating and there's no kids, I'm not saying it's not an important relationship and it's not a good relationship, but it's not the same level of responsibility as when you have kids together. Because when you separate, the kids get affected, and you still have to figure out how to make things work. And any father knows this, especially if you've gone through or you are going through family courts, you know that it's a tough one. It's a tough one. To me, based on my experience, I realize now that dating without kids it's nothing. The only other thing I would consider as serious is when people get married to expand their business. So you have two families, and they trust each other, and they realize, look, let your son marry mine, the kids will inherit the empire that will result. Things like that. But then again, it still comes out to kids. So kids, I think, are the most important part of a relationship in the heterosexual relationship. Otherwise, it's just fun. You're just having fun. You're just enjoying yourselves. You're just enjoying yourselves. Yes, you may be helping each other with work and business, but it's not the same thing because you don't have a joint responsibility. And no, animals don't count. And yes, I would drop any female on the spot if she insists of calling me like a dog dad or some bullshit like that. To be fair, I don't allow females to bring their animals near me, and so that's not really a problem for me. But I digress. So the looks maxers take drugs as well. They take drugs. So this clavicular, he went to hospital after overdosing. He overdosed on the drugs that he took to look better. Huh? That's crazy. That's crazy. All because of vagina. You know, they say we come out and then we always want to crawl into another one. But that's what's going on. That's what's going on. That's what's going on today. And it's crazy. It's crazy that that's what we've come to, and that's what males have decided to do, to spend their time on makeup, spend their time on their hair, spend their time on hitting their faces with a hammer, doing plastic surgery, doing um, drugs, all for vagina, right? That's so I would say in that part, that goes actually a point for women. That's, I think, something that the women are winning on. I think that's something that women are winning on, because this guy also has said that once the cameras are off, these girls don't want to hang out with him. They don't want to spend time with him. They don't want to have sex with him. They don't want him around. They don't care, right? But the people who are into Lux Maxine are so convinced that he's the God that they ignore that part. Because when he overdosed, I don't know if that's what the picture is from, but I know he overdosed partly because of how lonely he was feeling. He has admitted that, look, he's just a drug addict, essentially a junkie. Yet these guys are so misguided that they follow him still. I always want to know, where are the fathers of these children? You see, because we've come to a time in our society where when a father disciplines a child, it's very easy for that to be seen as abuse. Now, I have a theory on why that is, and I'll say it because there's a lot of people who wouldn't have a job unless they find fault in families. I think the family courts are infested with parasites who just want to find fault with family because that's how they make money to survive. That's how they get their minimum wage or a little bit above minimum wage, so that they destroy families and then they get to eat in return. Now, it is what it is. That's the reality we live in. What I would say on this is, as fathers, we must really use this as a wake-up call to improve ourselves. Of course, it's good to look good. Of course, it's good to look good. Of course, it's good to, get strong and be healthy and all those things. We're not denying that that's important. But you can't smash your face with a hammer just to get some vagina. And no, it will not make women want you. And I think a lot of women will view it as anti-heterosexual. It's not what a straight man does. You know what I mean? Like, you take a shit, you brush your teeth, wash your face, take a shower, right? Comb your hair, maybe put a little gel if you do that, or whatever, hair wax, whatever it is, you do put a bit. But 15, 20 minutes is a lot to do all that. But let's say 15, 20 minutes, half an hour, you're done. That's a long time still, right? But let's say including the shower, the shitting, the yeah, half an hour, 20 minutes, whatever, is enough. You iron your clothes, whatever it is you do, get your socks ready. That's you know, that's reasonable. But to spend time, money, the motherfucker said he spent over, I think, 30,000, if not more, just on his face. And he looks a bit weird because I noticed that his forehead doesn't move when he talks, right? So I think that exemplifies the weakness that, unfortunately, as men, we have developed in the modern era, which is we want so much attention from females that we do crazy stuff. That's why the first post saying that it's unattractive for men to play video games, of course, is of engagement farming. We know that, but it does get engagement because it gives women a chance to talk and men a chance to talk, for the gender war to have a platform to fight on. They're always looking for a battle to fight on. And I think that it is a weakness because even men who chase status for women, that's weak. If you've seen the movie The Social Network, like I know it's a fictional story, even though it's based on true events, the Zuckerberg guy, he created Facebook to impress some bitch, or she broke his heart or something like that, right? So he actually did it for women still, and that is not the way to be. That is not the way to be. So I have to give a point to women on that one. But let's look at something else that I find interesting. So there's this book that seems quite popular, and as a publisher, I intend to actually read it because I always like to know what's going on, what people are finding interesting. I hope I'm able to work my way through it. But this book is called Morning Glory Milking Farm. And you can see a lovely lady with a monster bull, I assume, thingy, uh, next to it, right? Next to the woman is next to the bull, the animal. And I'm assuming, based on the cover and on the comments, that these two are romantically involved. And this is a bestseller. I think it says USA Today best-selling author. Okay, but yes, but I know that in the genre of romance, this is one of the best-selling books and has been for a while. So of course, men are indignant about it. But like, let's look at the reality of it though. Look, Marxists want to look pretty, and yet women are attracted to creatures that look like bulls, right? Women are attracted to creatures that look like bulls. Why are they attracted to that? It's because women want men. They want the masculine energy. And we know that bulls are examples of masculine energy. I think Red Bull has something from the bull balls or whatever in it, something for the testicles, I think. But a bull is a symbol of masculinity, I believe, right? I know there's some worship and things, but that's not what we are going to talk about today. But women are into that masculine energy. They want the ultimate masculine energy that has no regard for them per se. I don't know, I've not read the book, but actually will read the book, believe it or not. And where will I find the time? But I will read it at some point. I will. Shit. Now I've said that I will. I have to read it. Fuck, let me write it down. What's it called? Morning Glory Milking Farm. Read it. Right. So I'm gonna have to read it now. Any fuck. So this book essentially talks about that, right? Some kind of romance and the ultimate masculinity that women are looking for. We just shows you that women are attracted to behavior. Now, one thing that always confuses me is when men say women don't want sex. And the reason why it confuses me is look at the books they are reading. Look at what they talk about, look at how much they spend on sex toys and so forth. Now, it is true that women don't want to have sex with most men. That is true. But at the same time, most men have a woman, or there's a woman somewhere that would want to have sex with that man if the man only acts confident and actually approaches and leads, right? And of course, you'll be faced with rejections, but there is women who will want you. And you will find that women will actually want sex more than you do. And many guys have never refused sex to girls. Like, I've dated girls and I've seen girls and I've never done the same. Not true. One time I did it. But I've never traveled like for a girl. Not true, actually twice. But it was the girl who paid. She gave me money and paid for the hotel. So she still, made an effort. And the argument was, oh, she was in uni at the time and couldn't leave lecture. So I was like, all right. but she still paid and gave me money and made the food and paid for the food and everything else. So I've never like really gone out of pocket for that. But I've known guys who travel to women all the time, but I have had more women, definitely way more women travel to me than I have traveled to them. Like drive from the next town even to come have sex with me and go back. And I know guys who do it on the regular. The woman always wants sex more than the guy in a relationship. But now I realize that a lot of guys, and I'll talk about that today, where we talk about the why women divorce good men. But one of the reasons is that women often settle for the good guy, but not because they find him sexually attractive. He's like, it's doable. Like I can get through it. I don't mind it that much. He's all right, you know. But they want the money, they want the stability and the status that comes with it. So, and a lot of guys confuse that for sexual attraction, but it's not sexual attraction. I would argue that the most important thing in a relationship is from the woman is to feel sexual attraction for the man. And the reason this is important here in the gender war thing is ultimately, I think all these people just, all the men really, the biggest issue is sex, really. The sexless marriages, sexless relationships, or just lack of sex and sexual frustration. I think that's the real thing. The second thing I would argue is lack of this kind of compassion and sympathy and empathy from women. And third would be the abusive behavior of women and cheating. You know, cheating actually comes first before the abusive behavior. Surprisingly, I've observed that guys would rather a girl not cheat on them, but act abusive otherwise than to stay than she'll stay faithful and then she'll be abusive. So sorry, and then cheat. So what am I saying? They'll rather let the woman be abusive, but she will be faithful than she cheats, but doesn't abuse them, which is interesting. Which is interesting. It's something I didn't expect to observe, but that's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm seeing. In fact, a lot of guys who describe abusive behaviors of a woman and still say the relationship is great. You know, so they'll say things like, "Oh, she calls me names, she gets angry. Yeah, occasionally she throws stuff, but it's a great relationship." I'm like, what's great about it? But that's how men have become used to being devalued and neglected and disrespected by women, that they think it's normal. They think it's normal. So that's where the women have the advantage in the proverbial gender war, because they can get away with a lot more. But what men don't realize is that these behaviors erode their self-respect. They erode their self-confidence, and they become dependent on the woman's approval. They start adjusting their behaviors, and they say it themselves. They start adjusting their behaviors to fit the woman, to avoid conflict in the relationship. Like, who wants to live that way? It's interesting because I've had advice in the past from people, especially women as well, that I should do that in certain situations where, you know, I couldn't just get out of the situation, not out of the relationship, but the situation. So obviously, like when you're in family court and things like that. But it's like, no, 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 no. I have to do what's best for me. I have to do what's best for the kids, first and foremost. So, you know, you can't adjust your behaviors just for women. But when we look at the looks maxing thing, that's what the men are doing. If you look at the bitch saying, it's not attractive for men to play video games, it's like, so what? So what? So fucking what? Right? But men will adjust their behaviors, and a lot of do. I saw a clip from a guy who was pretending to a woman that he's not a cop because he knows she doesn't like cops. Then just don't date her. Like, you know, the baseline of a new woman you meet should not be I must do what it takes to get her. It has to be, is she really trying to get with me? But again, I'll have to give the point to the woman here, because most men are not willing to do the work. When I say the work, approach women, meet women, be themselves in face of rejection, right? So, like I like my earrings, for example. If a woman doesn't like it or thinks it's immature of a man like myself to wear earrings, then she's just not for me, because I'm gonna be wearing earrings because I like them. I like them. So I don't care what a woman thinks about that. If she thinks it's childish, then I'm just not the man for her. If she thinks I'm not a man to do that, then I'm not the man for her. You see, but guys would rather settle with a girl, a female, who gives them a little bit of interest, who's willing to stick around. If it costs their self-respect, they don't mind. They'll even say stuff like, yeah, but you get laid, so who cares? And if vagina is your ultimate standard for living, then again, women get the point, which explains why Red Pill thinks women are the gatekeepers of sex, right? In reality, there's no gatekeepers of sex, because when there's actual real sexual attraction, both the man and the woman just want to fuck. They just want to get together. They just want to get together. They want to get naked, like they say, get a room. They just want to find a space when some of them like to be watched, but they just want to do it. So there's no gatekeeping on either side, to be honest. But because the red pillars and the pickup artists and the look maxes chase women who don't want them, and I've heard them say live, what's his name? The guy who does the beauty pageant, Michael Satin or something like that. I watched a video where he says he wants girls that don't want him. And a lot of guys think that that's a good mentality. I think I even had somebody saw a quote from Jeff Kennedy saying something like that, like, who wants a woman that anybody can bed or something like that. Like, fair enough, if you think that vagina is that special. But if a woman doesn't want you, that means let her be. That's how I see it, because you are putting yourself straight away at a losing position. So in this gender war aspect, women actually are kind of right. Women are actually kind of right. They get another point. Look, I'm sorry, guys. Like, I want the men to win in life, not the fucking gender war, because that's just bullshit on the internet, right? But it's fun to talk about. But we can't be doing this, because a lot of the family court cases that I see would have been avoided if the guy just had a little bit more self-respect. If he was willing to walk away from her when he had to walk away. I saw a video from Andrew Wilson's wife who said, and I'm going to actually critique that video at some point. In fact, let me write that down. So, Andrew Wilson, wife, video critique. So, she said they were dating, right? So they were not even yet in a serious relationship. And she said to him some stupid shit and then threw a remote control at him. And Andrew Wilson did not break up with her. I think just by the way, and I'll finish that thought. I remember a story of a girl, I think, who was spying on me while I was with another girl in the room. She spied. I was dating, not dating, we're just sleeping together. We're not serious. And I told the girl about that, and she was like, "Yeah, I'm sure you dumped her." And then when I said no, I could see the look on her face, and I think that was the last time she came to see me. And I think now I understand why. It's because she realized I didn't respect myself enough to dump a girl who should be dumped. So she was like, "This guy's not worth it." We'll talk more about that today. But coming back to Andrew Wilson's wife, is the same thing. Andrew Wilson married her. He married her. And what he said when she threw the remote at him is, I don't date girls who throw stuff at people. If you ever want to see me again, call me and apologize. And people think that that's masculine. She thinks that's masculine. I think she's the dominant one in a relationship. I think she knows the right balance to let him feel like a man, which is a lot of guys, what guys wrongly want from women. So she gives him enough of that, which allows her to manipulate him. Because, listen, let's just say for the sake of argument, he wanted to keep her, right? He should have just walked out and that's it, and blocked her. And she would have had to figure out how to get back with him, possibly not getting back with him. But again, that is not what modern males are willing to do. So women get a point there. They have that advantage because try throwing a remote at your wife and see where that lands you or your girlfriend. See where it lands you. And it's us who give them that power. You know, people complain about it on the internet, but it is us men who give them that power. People like Andrew Wilson, not dumping her on the spot. Somebody throws a remote control at you, you have a problem. If your friend throws a remote control at you, you have a problem. But it's okay for women to do these things. Why? Because guys want the vagina. So it looks like the women are fucking winning. Fuck. No. This can't be. This can't be. And you know, and I had this post recently, I think it was this one, no, which I critiqued. Yes. So it says, to the gents who still want relationships with women, my advice, for what it's worth, is to assume any woman you meet hates you and is consequently prepared to destroy you until she proves otherwise. And you should not be easily convinced. Now, that's bullshit, and I'll tell you why it's bullshit. And I did another video critiquing this. But it's bullshit because it increases the fear men have of women, right? So already you have men trying to look smart for women. We have men who inadvertently, inevitably stop playing video games or hide the fact that they play video games because they're ashamed of it and they think women find it unattractive. So they're adjusting their behaviors just to fit what the women want. And we have guys saying you should think a woman is trying to destroy you, as if she really has that power over you. Yes, if you let her into your life and you don't have boundaries and you don't respect yourself, then yes. But you see, I don't like this position that men are taught to always be on the back foot, always to be on the defensive, and always to devalue themselves and to think that they are lesser or that they are somehow at a disadvantage when it comes to women. Women do think that way too, and that's the gender war that we have. But that position is what causes men to lose in life. When I say be confident, it's not for women, it's for yourself. Because that's how you get things that you want in life. That's how you make progress. That's how you motivate yourself. You believe that you can do it. You believe that you deserve what you want. You believe that you are the man that you want to be. And the man that you want to be gets what he wants. So let's say you want to be a billionaire, right? You go for it because you know that you can get it as a man. You believe in yourself. You have the faith in your ability to acquire things that you desire. Right? Elon Musk was Elon Musk before he became a billionaire. Whoever you look up to, including yourself, was that person and became more of that person as they went forward. But you don't become the person you're supposed to be after you acquire things, because you have to be the man who has what it takes to get it. And a woman is not an achievement. Like, women are just part of life, right? This gender war thing is just stupid. Like, I miss the times where when we talk about women and so yeah, people complain about women, but just jokes and silly stuff. But at the end of the day, everybody went to their girl, their wife, even when they were by themselves, but they had like a positive outlook towards the other gender. We have our differences because we are different. But even when you look at the music from the 90s and early 2000s, you can see the difference. Like, men and women liked each other. The modern music is all bashing, bashing men. I'll kill this nigga. Fuck this man. Like, men devaluing themselves, praising women, even though people will say hip hop is misogynistic. It's not at all. I don't see where the misogyny is. It's just bullshit, part of the gender war bullshit, right? But we don't have that positive outlook that, yeah, at the end of the day, I'm going to meet my woman. Like, there was a time a woman knows, yeah, he takes me out, I follow his lead. Like, it was just normal. It was just normal. It wasn't a thing of control or whatever. She expected the man to figure out what to do. And yes, we knew there were guys who were controlled by women, because there always have been those guys. And they were made fun of, to be fair. But now it's like everybody's being controlled by a woman, right? And it's this negative vibe that people have with each other. And it's sad. It's really sad. The excitement of like, oh, there's this girl I'm gonna go see. Like, people don't have that anymore. And it's across all the ages. It's not just like the kids who are supposedly not dating as much, but everybody has lost it. Like, the love for the opposite sex, the heterosexual relationships has been so eroded. And we are seeing it. The birth rates are falling and things like that. People are blaming it on immigration. People are blaming it on economy. People are blaming it on feminism, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, it's us who have to change ourselves. We have to start loving each other and ourselves. And men, we are the leaders still. Regardless of what anybody tells you, you lead. Like the initial post I showed you by, what was her name? What was her name? Lizzie Marburg, right? It's still following what men do. So men are playing video games and a female finds that as a topic to talk about. We lead. So, I think really people need to start loving sex again. Actual sex, not on the screen where you just watch other people doing it, where you actually do it. I think we need to get back to the times where people want to get with each other. I know there's a rise of, I think Andrew Wilson is in that group of Christian nationalists, I think they're called, who want, chastity and other stuff. And like, let's get real, man. Come on, let's get real. But anyway, I'm not here to argue religion or politics. My point is, even if it's, let's say, marriage, right? Let's bring that back. Let's have a time where people, women look forward to being with their man, and men look forward to being with their woman. Let's bring back the time where we love each other, where we appreciate each other. When you bring flowers to a woman, it's not simping, but it's just love, because she respects you, because she brings, not because she's doing that to get flowers or whatever. You just naturally give to each other. She brings you a cold beer and a sandwich, like that's what you like. Like, I like my eggs in the morning, things like that. She does it because she wants to do it, because it gives her pleasure to do things for you. And you give her flowers because it gives you pleasure to do things for her, not because you want to rekindle your bedroom, because a dead bedroom should remain dead. In most cases, you should divorce. because in most cases, I'm not saying all, in most cases, you're just with somebody who doesn't want you. Find somebody who wants you. Like, let it be normal to be with somebody who actually wants you. Like when you do something special, it's because you just want to enjoy that with the person, not because you want to bribe that person or convince that woman to want you. Let's find time to be proud of ourselves as men, where you don't need your woman to tell you she's proud of you, but she tells you because you are proud of yourself. But you'd be proud of yourself and feel good about yourself regardless. I don't like this new trend. Oh, the woman should make me feel like a man. Like, how? She's a woman. She doesn't know what it's like to be a man. She can never understand a man fully, just like we can never understand women fully. Right? An example I give is, let's say you have your favorite pizza shop that you go to. You can go there all day long, eat it all the time, but you expect them to know what to do. You don't expect to teach them how to make that pizza. It's the same thing with women. The woman can make you into a man. Money does not make you a man. We are seeing it all the time in the news how all these men, rich men, are taken advantage of by their wives, dumped by their wives, cheated on by their wives. Rich, famous people, good-looking people, it doesn't matter. It does not matter. But finding the pride, and listen, I've said this before, I know it's hard sometimes, but it's those hard times where you should be more proud of yourself, because like, whoa, I'm going through this and I'm still going. Because it's not easy. Like, I did an episode about depression. It's not easy crawling out, like convincing yourself, look, get out, get up, do it. It's not easy. It's not easy to motivate yourself when everybody seems against you, when it looks like nothing is working and you just want to stop. That's very, very difficult to do. Yes, it is indeed. So you must find a way. You must find a way to bring back that thing. And then when you do that, that's when a woman can look at you and say, yes, that's my man. That's when you don't have to do any gimmicks. And yes, I know it feels great when you have the support of a woman who loves you. But that support can only come when you love yourself first. When you love yourself more than she can ever love you. And that's a foreign concept to a lot of men, because from childhood we are taught otherwise. When you have sex with her, don't just like try to calm, like fuck her. Like let her feel it. Like let her know what's up. Let her know what going. Let her know what it's all about. Show her with your dick what it means to be in your presence. Right? Because listen, to the motherfuckers who squeeze their butt cheeks till they come, pause, when they're having sex with their woman. Like, if you have a sexless marriage, like, come on. Come on. But you see, this is not to say that people should try to resurrect their bedrooms, because I don't believe in that. The only way you can get certain things is when you don't want them, when you don't need them, when you don't go for them. Not when you pretend you don't want them, when you're acting like you don't want them, when you're trying to convince yourself and other people that you don't want them or you don't care about them. It's when you actually don't want them. Because that's when you can focus on what's important, and then the things that should be yours will be added onto you. Because naturally, you've become that person who has what it takes. If somebody gives you $1 billion today, do you know what to do with it? If not, that would be one of the reasons why you're not a billionaire. Like, I have not made a plan for $1 billion, right? And maybe for some people that's extreme, because many people don't think of those kind of figures. But whatever it is you are doing in your life, have you really, really made it about yourself from your core, how you want it? Have you really done that? Because most of the cases that come to me, the fathers always say, I sacrificed everything. That's why you lost it. What the fuck do you think a sacrifice is? Sacrifice means you give it up. But you sacrifice the wrong thing for the wrong thing. So two wrongs don't make a fucking right. You don't sacrifice yourself because you are the most important part of the relationship. Let me say that again. You don't sacrifice yourself because you are the most important part of the relationship. You are the one who leads it. Oh, she's the dominant one, then you are in a wrong relationship. That's why she's gonna leave, because a woman cannot be in that environment. And trust me, feminism has nothing to do with it. Because even if feminism goes away today, are women going to look at you as a great guy? Most guys, and sorry for men, I'm on our side. So this is like our critique of us, right? So that we move forward. So most of us, what we do is we want the society to make women do involuntarily what we want from them. And that includes sex in marriage. Duty sex. Oh, I don't want to go to work, but I do it. So she doesn't want to do it. She should still do it. So you really want to stick your dick in a vagina that is dry, that doesn't want you. You really want to do that? Come on. You see, so there are a lot of, listen, there are negative forces that influence women negatively. I don't deny that. I wouldn't be here otherwise, right? We're talking about the gender wars. We are giving an honest review of what's going on in the gender war today. But what allows this to happen, what allows this gender war to happen, is we concede grounds in our souls, we concede grounds in our minds, and even our bodies by smashing our faces with the hammer, like the fucking Luke smacks us. We concede all those things, we give them up, and then the negative forces have more room to maneuver, more ways to affect us negatively, more avenues to destroy us, more attack vectors. But we have to claim that back, claim your soul back. And yes, a few will see their marriages improve. But again, that should not be your goal. Not because I don't want good marriages. It's because sometimes you have to destroy the temple and rebuild it. But you can only rebuild it by rebuilding yourself first. So that's why for those of us who've hit rock bottom, hopefully I've already hit it. I don't want to go through all that stuff again. So I hope I've already hit it. But when we do lose everything and our worldview shatters, that's good, because all of us at some point realized that I was living a lie, right? So we have to start really cherishing ourselves, period. Just like yourself, do things for yourself. Know that you are that man. You have to know it. It's not the external world that makes you that man. You are that man. It's difficult to be that man. It's difficult to be you. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it. And that's why when somebody figures themselves out, everybody wants to imitate that person and get half-baked results. But that's not how it works. Listen, the politicians don't care about us. They will listen to all the feminist rhetoric and create conditions that make us hard. If that make us hard, pause, make lives hard for men, if they think it will get them votes and they can get away with it, they will do it. They don't care. They literally don't care. They don't care that your children are growing up without a father. And many females don't care because it's been put in their head that they must prove they can do it on their own. But the one thing that can help is the opposite of what we do. We have to allow the woman to crave us more than we crave them. But it is not by the way we live our lives. Like, come on, like, let's get real. The way we live our lives, most of us, it's not gonna make a woman be like, oh, can't wait to get home and suck his dick. Pause. That's not gonna happen. You can't force it. And the reason why I say sexual attraction is important is because if women go so far as to read a book like this, right? Morning, milking, glory, and all that stuff, right? If women go as far as doing that, then sex is really important to them. So that's one thing that can help, because when a woman really wants you, she's open to listening to what you say. If you know how to set your boundaries, how to pace yourself, you don't start fucking her 3 times a day in the first week you meet her. Like, I know pickup artists childishly recommend that, but no, you have to rush in the dick as well. Not to manipulate her, but like, you have things to do, and she's not earned it yet. But I don't think people are ready for that discussion. The bottom line is, no matter what your circumstances are, you've chosen to stay alive, right? You've chosen to stay alive. So now the devil wants to dance. And sometimes you have to dance. And you have to outdance that motherfucker. You have to outdance the devil sometimes. That's what you've got to do. You have to bat some moves for the demons to be like, "Hmm." And you keep going. Because God is with you. You have to keep going. Listen, I've enjoyed reviewing the current state of the gender wars. I'm going to do some more of these. I'm going to look deeper into what's going on to see how I can bring you more of the truth, to bring you the prophecy, which I am the prophecy, to bring you the understanding that will make you say stuff that people will think you are crazy because it's just so out of their imagination, that they've never experienced. They think it's only in movies because most of the population has been deceived. Most of us are deceived. We are more powerful, we are stronger, we are better than what the world is trying to tell us. We really are. This gender war is bullshit. I think at some point all the people involved should really be honest, and if they had somebody fucking them right, they wouldn't be doing all that nonsense. They just wouldn't. All right. So this evening, join me. I'll be talking about why women divorce good men, bad women divorce good men, and maybe good women divorce good men. But women divorce good men, and why, and what to do about it. Now, if you need some help from me, you're going through your family courts in the UK, and if you're elsewhere in the world, hit me up at bravefathers.com. Click the link below to get in touch. And listen, when in doubt, remember, you are the truth. And I'll see you later. I'm John Paul from bravefathers.com. bravefathers.com.
Bravefathers.com.